In this video, I go through the exercises you should be doing and the activities you should be avoiding long-term after you have a reverse total shoulder replacement. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. I see a lot of patients who have had a reverse total shoulder replacement, and somewhere around 3 to 4 months after surgery, they finish outpatient physical therapy. Their range of motion has mostly got back to where it's going to be. So has their strength. They've mostly recovered the strength they're going to recover. They're mostly back to all of their normal kind of basic daily activities, and they're ready to do things on their own. But two main questions remain. What exercises should they keep doing long-term to maintain their new shoulder? And what activities do they need to avoid long-term to protect that new shoulder? That's what I'll go through today. I'll demonstrate the exercises I give my patients in this circumstance and go through some of the why behind those exercises, and we'll go through the types of activities you need to avoid long-term to protect that new shoulder. Before I demonstrate the program, I want to remind everybody, as always, like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know how you're doing after your reverse total shoulder replacement. So after this surgery, long-term, the three main things you'll want to work on. Number one, shoulder mobility, right? You're finishing outpatient therapy. You want to still improve to the extent possible your range of motion and mobility. And of course, you want to maintain that over time. Number two, deltoid muscle strength, which we'll get to in a moment. And number three, to the extent possible, rotator cuff muscle strength. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when we get to that point. So first exercise is for mobility. It's really a series of what we might call dynamic stretches. So take any stick, golf club works great. I use my bat, and you're simply going to reach up as high as you can, pause at the top of the movement just for a moment or two, and come down. Up and down about 20 repetitions. And once you're done with that, bat goes behind you and you reach back. I'll give a side view, and I know at the beginning of therapy we told people not to do this. However, at 4 months or so post-op, the shoulder has healed enough to tolerate this movement. So we want to get some shoulder extension back. So again, reaching back, you should feel some pull, shouldn't be painful, really shouldn't be that hard to do. Back and forth, 20 repetitions. And last, and again with a side view, we'll do some internal, or as we call it, functional internal rotation. Simply slide the stick up your back like you're trying to scratch your back with this stick, up and down 20 times. Again, this is probably going to be the most difficult of the three. It shouldn't hurt. Again, you'll feel a stretch, but that's about it. Up and down 20 times with each movement. One stretch I find really useful for improving overhead reaching is this one. It's basically a version of child's pose from yoga, sometimes called a prayer stretch. And using the stability ball adds some intensity. Now, if this is a little too intense, I'll also demonstrate a standing version with your hands on a chair or on a countertop. That's, again, a little bit less intense than this. So anyway, with the stability ball, simply reach forward into a child's pose until you feel some stretch in that shoulder. Hold about 20 to 30 seconds, and then come back to upright. And do this 3 times, back and forth. Again, about a 20 to 30 second hold each time. And then on your last repetition, at the end of the 20 to 30 seconds, do 10 to 20 alternating arm lifts, lifting each arm one at a time, 10 to 20 times. So this not only stretches the shoulder, but works on some of the muscles that actually elevate the shoulder when you need to reach overhead. I mentioned the deltoid muscle. So the deltoid muscle is this muscle right under your skin on each shoulder, and it's the main elevator of your arms. And in the case of folks who've had a reverse total shoulder replacement, it's kind of the substitute rotator cuff muscle. So we want to improve and maintain strength of this muscle as much as possible. So with pretty light weights, starting at about 1 pound, I start people in the clinic with 1 pound, working up to, on the high end, 5 to 10 pounds. You're simply going to use both arms, reach out straight to the side, down, forward, down, alternating between side and forward lateral raises. Now the reason we do both sides, number one, it's something people can do at the gym, so we can just incorporate it right into their workout. Number two, working the non-hurt side actually creates a little bit of crossover strengthening effect into the hurt side. So up and down about 20 repetitions, so counting each movement as a rep. So 1, 2, up to about 20 repetitions. Now, sometimes people have some pretty persistent deltoid muscle weakness, and they can't do a lateral raise with weight, or sometimes even with the weight of their arm. So here's kind of a cheat to work toward that last exercise. So again, with some kind of stick, my hurt arm's my right side, use the stick to help the arm get up to about this position, so a little bit above horizontal. Then try to hold the arm. Try to hold it for a second or two and lower slowly. And try to do this without shrugging. So it's not this and then lowering. Avoid this shrug. Okay, so help the arm up, but then make the hurt arm lower itself down. So this is often an intermediate step that even folks with some pretty profound deltoid muscle weakness can do. So simply do this exercise until you can raise the arm without shrugging with no weight, and then over time start adding some weight to the hand. I mentioned rotator cuff muscle strengthening, and maximizing our strength in this area can really optimize our shoulder function. It's a little bit of a contradiction because most people have a reverse total shoulder replacement because their rotator cuff is torn beyond repair. But it's almost never all torn. So a bit of an anatomy lesson. There are 4 rotator cuff muscles, okay? And it's really 1 and kind of 2 of the 4 that are the main ones that are torn in these patients. The extent to which we can maximize strength of what's left, all the better. We can really improve our overall shoulder muscle function by doing that. So we're going to do 2 movements, internal and external rotation of the shoulder. And you're going to need 2 different levels of resistance for these. So first we're going to do internal. You're going to have a lot of strength with this movement. You're going to need more resistance. So I have my anchored band, probably a thicker band. I've got a towel under the arm, and I'm simply going to internally rotate my shoulder 15 to even up to 25 times, kind of a high rep count, about 2 to 3 sets of this. Now I'm going to switch arms, just so I don't turn my back to the camera, to do external rotation. So now my hurt arm's my left arm, but a couple of nuances with external rotation. Number 1, you're going to need to change to a lighter band. You're not going to have near as much strength with external as you did with internal. Number 2, a cheat that patients almost always do, a compensation. They extend their elbow. They do this. Notice I'm extending my elbow. I didn't move my shoulder very much. Okay, I'm really using my triceps in my arm, not my rotator cuff. And I'm doing that because my rotator cuff is super weak. Keep the elbow bent 90 degrees and move through a fairly small arc. You're only going to rotate to about this position and back and forth. You probably can't do 25 repetitions with this movement. You'll be a lot weaker. But if you can get to about 15, that would be doing really well. Our last exercise works mainly our shoulder blade muscles, which are central in helping to stabilize our shoulder. Also, we're indirectly working rotator cuff and deltoid. So again, with anchored resistance, you're simply going to reach straight out like you're forming a letter T and come back. Now notice I'm keeping my shoulder blades down. I'm not shrugging, okay? Keeping the shoulder blades down, reach back, hold at the end of the movement for just a moment, come forward. Keep it controlled, keep it kind of slow, back and forth 10 to 15 repetitions. What can't you do or what shouldn't you do long-term after a reverse total shoulder replacement? So you might recall, for those who have had this surgery, right after surgery, we put all kinds of range of motion restrictions in place, movement activity restrictions in place to protect that shoulder, specifically from dislocation. So we kind of put the fear of God in patients to avoid a lot of basic movements because of that fear. Well, after 3 to 4 months of healing, the shoulder is healed enough where everyday movements in about any direction are okay. Those movement restrictions essentially go away. But a couple movements I tell my patients to partially avoid. Stretching across your body in front, so a stretch like this, I would avoid. Now, does that mean you can't reach across your body? No. Reaching across to grab something in the course of everyday life, that's fine. Stretching like this aggressively, repeatedly, multiple times per week, avoid. Reaching across your body behind your back. Again, I wouldn't stretch this way aggressively. Reaching to tuck in a shirt, loop a belt, okay. Reaching this way, stretching aggressively, repeatedly, avoid. The next thing is heavy lifting. So a lot of patients want to get back to working out, which is fine with some modifications. Most of the heavy pressing movements, either chest press, so dumbbell press would be an example, heavy overhead press, don't do these things. Especially with dumbbells, again, because imagine I'm laying on my back on a bench, I've got dumbbells in my hand, my elbows go way behind me. This position of the shoulder is kind of an unstable position. We want to avoid that. Substitute most of the pressing exercises with machine pressing or push-ups. Also, anything where there's a strong traction force on the arm, think farmer carry. You really want to avoid this. If it's done occasionally, that's okay. So for example, you're carrying a heavy suitcase at the airport. That's probably okay. You're only doing that once in a while. But heavy carrying of dumbbells in the gym, avoid. So again, don't do repeated forceful reaching across your body in front, reaching across your body in back, and heavy pressing exercises and heavy carrying with the arm at the side where there's a traction force in the arm. These are the types of things long-term you really need to avoid to protect that shoulder. Those are the exercises I like to give my patients who have finished outpatient therapy after their reverse total shoulder replacement, but they still need to work on improving their deltoid muscle strength, their rotator cuff muscle strength if possible, and their mobility. And those are the activities and types of activities you really need to avoid to protect that new shoulder. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope it helps you get back to what you love to do. As always, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.